In the early hours of Thursday, February 27, 2025, Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa were transported to the office of the medical investigator. An autopsy was performed. Initial findings noted no external trauma to either individual. The manner and cause of death has not been determined.
Have you ever wondered what happens when the peaceful retirement of a Hollywood legend suddenly becomes the center of an unsettling mystery? When the acclaimed actor Gene Hackman and his pianist wife Betsy Arakawa were found dead in their Santa Fe home, authorities initially labeled it as natural causes, an elderly couple who passed away together. But as investigators peeled back the layers of this case, disturbing inconsistencies emerged. Why was one dog dead while others survived? How could a 911 caller initially report only one body, then moments later correct himself? And most troublingly, if Hackman's pacemaker showed he died 9 days before discovery, what happened to Arakawa during that critical week? This isn't just another celebrity death story. It's a haunting puzzle where every answer seems to spawn two more questions, and the truth may be darker than anyone initially suspected. On February 26, 2025, the bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were discovered in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Hackman, a legendary actor celebrated for his roles in classic films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, had retired from Hollywood nearly 2 decades earlier to live a quiet life with Arakawa, a 65-year-old classical pianist. A maintenance worker making a routine check noticed the front door was wide open. After receiving no response to his knocks, he entered and discovered Hackman's body in the foyer and Arakawa in the bathroom. Both showed signs of advanced decomposition, indicating they had been deceased for several days. Strangely, one of their dogs was found dead in a closet near Arakawa, while their other 2 dogs were found alive elsewhere in the house. Initial observations revealed no signs of forced entry, no obvious external injuries, and no evidence of theft. On the surface, it appeared to be a tragic case of an elderly couple passing away at home. But as investigators would soon discover, nothing about this case was as simple as it seemed. The investigation began to uncover several unusual details. Near Arakawa's body, investigators found prescription medications scattered on the bathroom floor, including medications for blood pressure and thyroid conditions. This suggested a possible medical emergency or overdose. Carbon monoxide poisoning was quickly ruled out after tests showed no gas leaks or elevated levels in the home. A significant breakthrough came when medical examiners analyzed data from Hackman's pacemaker. It indicated his heart had stopped on February 17, 2025, approximately 9 days before the bodies were discovered. This crucial information narrowed the time frame of their deaths and raised an important question. If Hackman died on February 17th, when exactly did Arakawa pass away? Adding to the mystery was the maintenance worker's 911 call. Initially, he stated that he had found one person deceased inside the home. Later in the same call, he corrected himself, saying 2 people were deceased. Was this simply confusion due to shock, or was there more to the story? As news spread, questions emerged about the couple's final days. According to neighbors and family members, no one had seen or spoken to them for nearly 2 weeks before their bodies were discovered. This extended period without contact wasn't entirely out of character for the privacy-conscious pair, but it did raise questions about why no one had checked on them sooner. The positioning of the bodies provided potential clues. Hackman was found in the foyer, suggesting he may have collapsed suddenly. Arakawa's location in the bathroom, surrounded by medications, indicated she might have been attempting to retrieve medicine during a medical emergency. But the death of one dog and the survival of the others continued to perplex investigators. The deceased dog was found in a closet near Arakawa, almost as if it had hidden there. The surviving dogs were found in different parts of the house, dehydrated but alive. What had caused one dog to die while the others survived? Several theories emerged regarding the deaths. Medical experts consulted by the investigation team proposed that Hackman likely suffered a severe cardiac event on February 17th, as indicated by his pacemaker data. This would have caused him to collapse suddenly in the foyer. According to this theory, Arakawa likely heard her husband fall and rushed to his aid. Finding him unresponsive, she may have hurried to the bathroom to retrieve his medications. While there, she could have experienced a medical emergency of her own, possibly a heart attack triggered by stress or a pre-existing condition. The scattered medications found near her body support this hypothesis. It appears she may have been frantically searching for something to help either herself or her husband when she collapsed. But this theory doesn't explain all the peculiarities of the case, such as the dead dog in the closet. Some investigators have suggested the dog may have been ill already and sought out a quiet place to hide. Others have proposed more troubling possibilities. Could the dog have consumed something toxic that was also responsible for the couple's deaths? Despite thorough testing, no environmental toxins were found in the home. The 911 call made by the maintenance worker continues to be a source of contention. His correction from finding one deceased person to two could be innocent, the result of shock upon making such a grim discovery. However, some have questioned whether there might be more to his confusion. Investigators thoroughly vetted the maintenance worker and found no suspicious connections. His employment history was clean, and he had been working at the property for several years. Still, his call remains one of the more puzzling aspects of the case. Another aspect generating significant speculation is the extended period during which the couple had no contact with the outside world. While they valued their privacy, a complete absence of communication for nearly 2 weeks struck many who knew them as unusual. According to friends interviewed as part of the investigation, the couple typically maintained at least some contact with a small circle of trusted individuals. As investigators continued their work, they examined the couple's medical histories. Hackman, at 95 years old, had a pacemaker installed several years earlier and was known to have heart issues. Arakawa, 65, was significantly younger but had her own health concerns, managing blood pressure and thyroid conditions. The autopsy reports provided some clarity but also raised new questions. Hackman's cause of death was officially listed as cardiac arrest, consistent with his pacemaker data. Arakawa's autopsy, however, was less conclusive. While the medical examiner noted signs of heart disease, they could not definitively state whether she had died of natural causes or if her death was indirectly caused by the stress of trying to help her husband. The report also mentioned signs of a possible fall. The autopsy of the deceased dog revealed that it had died of dehydration, suggesting it had been trapped in the closet for several days without access to water. The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and Santa Fe. Hackman, despite having retired in 2004, remained a beloved figure in Hollywood, respected for his incredible range and dedication. His performances in films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, both of which earned him Academy Awards, had cemented his legacy. Despite extensive investigation, questions about their deaths continue to circulate. One theory that gained traction involves the possibility of a delayed fatal incident. According to this theory, Hackman may have fallen and injured himself on February 17th, and Arakawa, unable to lift him or get help due to their remote location and her own limitations, may have struggled for days to care for him before succumbing to exhaustion or a medical event of her own. This theory would explain the time disparity between Hackman's death and the condition of Arakawa's body, which suggested she had died several days later. It would also explain why one dog was found trapped in a closet. Perhaps it had entered during the chaos of the emergency and been accidentally shut in. However, this theory doesn't account for why Arakawa wouldn't have called for emergency assistance. The investigation confirmed that the home's phone lines were operational, and both had cell phones with battery power remaining. This continues to be one of the most perplexing aspects of the case. Why didn't Arakawa reach out for help? Some suggest she may have been disoriented from a fall or stress. Others have proposed more troubling possibilities. Could there have been an intruder? The lack of forced entry or signs of struggle makes this unlikely, but investigators have been careful not to rule anything out completely.